Welcome to Travel Tales, a mini-series within Distress to Joyful Bailey's Way podcast. I'm your host, Bailey Raber, here to travel the world with you. In each episode, you'll hear firsthand how my travel experiences have gone, both within the United States and abroad. Together, we'll discover new cultures, learn about a variety of new places for you to go out and explore, bring light to how I navigate my bipolar disorder while traveling, and, most importantly, we'll have fun. You'll leave each episode stocked full of exciting new ideas, interesting information, and feeling like it's time to hop on a plane. So come on, friends, let's start exploring. Hello, friends. I am so happy to be back, and I'm super excited because today we are heading to Italy! Yes, if you are on YouTube, you are seeing the postcard. I'm flashing it across the screen like I do. What's super special about this postcard, you guys, is that I actually mailed it from Italy to my grandparents. So before I dive into that, let me get a little bit back on track and help you understand the context before I just start diving into shit. So I actually went to Italy in 2011. I went with my school. My high school did an EF tour. Some of you guys might be familiar with them. I actually, fun fact, just learned recently that EF tours are not just for high schoolers. They actually do things for college people, for people that are outside of college, and for fucking adults. Like, what? That's super cool. I might actually look into it again in the future because it was a really great trip. It really was. But what's even better, oh my God, this is my favorite part of this story. And I'm so excited to get to tell this. I love getting to tell this. It's so crazy. It almost feels like it's unreal, like it didn't even happen. So back in high school, I was sitting in my favorite Italian restaurant with my best friend, Spencer. He and I are still friends to this day. I've mentioned him on the podcast recently. And also, you're welcome, Spencer, because he loves nostalgic things, and this is Nostalgia 101. So in our hometown of Lake Jackson, Texas, there was this Italian restaurant that opened up called Bella Roma, which obviously, beautiful Rome. Hello. So I remember we were sitting there one day, it was sophomore year, and we looked up on the wall, and we were looking at all the photos of Italy that were everywhere. And we were just sitting there, and he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, dude, if we ever get the chance to go to Italy together, let's take it." And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Except I probably didn't say fuck yeah because I was like 16. So we shook on it. We literally sat there and we shook on it. We're like, yeah, okay, great, we'll do it. So that must have been, I think, around Christmas break because we went to Bella Roma a lot during that time. We had so much free time in those 2.5 weeks or whatever. We get back to school and we hear from our history teacher, Mr. Ryan. He literally announces like a week or two after that there is a trip to Italy that he is chaperoning and that the kids at the high school can sign up. It's just for sophomores. And it would be the following year when we were juniors. And guys, I shit you not, Spencer sat right next to me. He was on my left in that class. And we just looked at each other. And we were like, holy shit. Like, I can still remember the look on his face, like, of excitement and of like, oh my God, is this really happening? And me too. I was like, holy fuck, this is happening. Like, here's our chance. We shook on this. So we literally were like, okay, we have to do it. We shook on this. We said we're going to do it. So Spencer's parents were not hard to convince whatsoever. They were super chill. They're like, fuck yeah, except they didn't say fuck yeah, but you know what I mean. They were like, yeah, you can go to Italy. Sure. Well, we're happy to send you to Italy. My parents, on the other hand, were not so happy to send me to Italy. So the only way I could go is if I raised the money myself. So at the time, I was nannying after school for 3 kids who, oh my God, one of them got married within the last 2 years, and she now has a kid. Mind blown. Holy shit, it's crazy. The kids I used to babysit are having kids, And I'm not even having kids. What is happening with life? Okay, anyways. That's besides the point. But I was nannying for these 3 kids after school, and then I would pick up extra babysitting jobs on the weekend. I would clean houses. I would literally do whatever I could to raise the money. And I did that all of the final spring semester of my sophomore year. Summer hits, and I'm like, I still need to make money. And so Spencer was working at a local restaurant called On the River, which I heard has closed down, which is really sad because that ended up being my first job too. He was a busboy, and he kind of put in a good word for me, and I got a job there as a hostess. So we're working there all summer, earning money, and I go to church camp. I think I went to church camp right after I got the job. Maybe I got the job and worked for like 2 or 3 weeks and then went to church camp. I don't really know. Don't quote me on that shit. Doesn't really matter anyways. Really. So while I'm at church camp one night, I come back to the cabin. We had to leave our phones in the cabin. Y'all, this is 2010. This is 2010. Like, I have a BlackBerry phone because that was what we had at the time. We didn't have iPhones yet. Not everybody had fucking flat screen, touch screen shit in the pockets yet. I had a BlackBerry. And I remember going back to the cabin one night. It was super late. It was towards the end of the week. And I had like a shit ton of missed calls from Spencer. I was like, what is going on? So I called him back. It's super late, y'all. It's like fucking midnight. And he's freaking out. He's like, oh my God, he's freaking out. And I'm like, dude, what is going on? It's like midnight. I'm fucking tired. It's been a long day at camp. Calm down and tell me why you're bothering me so much. And he goes, we're going for free. And what? And I'm sitting here like, what? We're going for free? What are you talking about? He's like, we're going to Italy for free. And I said, dude, that's not cool. It's late. I'm tired. Stop playing with me. Stop fucking with me. That's not cool. Again, I didn't say fucking with me. I was at church camp. So he goes, seriously, we're going for free. Mr. Ryan called and left voicemails. He probably left a voicemail at your parents' house too. But apparently our teacher put in for us to like randomly win. Okay, hold on. Our teacher put us in a drawing to win scholarships to where we could possibly go for free. And he didn't tell us. He didn't tell us because he didn't want us to get our hopes up and then us not win. And hey, you know what? That was a real smart move, Mr. Ryan. I commend you for that because had you told us and then we didn't win, I'd have been real pissed. So good call, buddy. Good call. So we were entered into this drawing and we fucking won. We won. We got to go to Italy for free, y'all. We went to Italy for free. It was the most surreal thing ever. I remember just being like, what? And then telling everybody in my cabin and just being like so excited and still being a little bit skeptical of it because I'm like, is this really happening? Y'all, my mom had been sending in like $200 payments every single month, and I would give her the money and she would submit a little payment online to this EF Tours thing to pay for me to go. I literally got a check back in the mail for like $1,000. They sent me all the money that we paid so far because we were literally going for free. Seriously. So if that doesn't make for the start of an amazing trip to Italy, I don't know what else does. Yeah, so still, like, guys, this is over 10 years ago. I'm 29 now, and it still is crazy to fathom that I was 17 and got to go to Italy for free. Like, who gets to say that? Okay, people who have rich parents get to say that, but I don't have rich parents. I was literally paying for myself to go. So this was super, super cool. And my grandparents were going to support a little bit, probably more than a little bit. They were amazing like that. I do truly miss my grandparents so much. I don't want to get on that because I will cry. But while I was there, I sent them this postcard here. And if you're not on YouTube, the postcard on the front says Kiss from Roma. I made sure to get this back and the magnet and all the postcards actually that I sent to my grandparents and all of the magnets from the places I went that I got for them because that's what I collect now because of my Nana. This is what I did for her and now it's something I keep up for myself. But the postcard reads, "Hey, Nana and Pops. I'm having a great time. Thank you for the souvenir money. I saw most of the things that are on the front of this postcard today. I took lots of pictures, and I will show you all of them when I get back. The food here is great, too, especially the gelato. Ciao. Love, Bailey." And the front of this postcard has the Trevi Fountain. It's got it's got one of the squares. It's got a lot of stuff. Listen, I will make some travel notes where you guys can see all of these things. I will post a photo of the postcard. I will post photos from the trip. Just bear with me. Give me a little time, y'all. Your girl is busy traveling the world right now. She's in Europe again. I'm in Europe again right now. Actually, I should be home by now. Okay, so just a little heads up. This is going to be a 2-part episode because this was a week-long trip. And so I don't think I can get all of this done in 30-ish minutes. So I'm deciding to break this up because, that's the best way to go. I've gotten lots of feedback that y'all prefer shorter episodes, and I'm going to try to do that for you guys. I'm going to try to be a little bit better. What's super fun is that because I don't have like a blog article written about this yet, I just have photos and my travel journal. So I'm literally going to read from my travel journal that I took all the way to Italy back in 2011, and it looks like garbage. Like, those of you on YouTube, you can see this travel journal has been beat to shit. It has been around the world a couple times. It's been to 4 different countries. Yeah, 4 countries. One of the countries it's been to twice. So it's been out of the country 5 times now, and it's just beat to shit. And I actually got a new one recently. On my last trip to India back in December of 2022, I bought a new travel journal, and I'm taking that with me to Europe this time around, and I'm going to start using that from here on out. And I'm excited because I'll read it from that for you guys too. My travel journals are super fun. I like to sit down at the end of the day and journal things out. Sometimes the beginning of the day, it just depends. But we're going to go through the first 3 days of this trip. That's what we're going to do. I stopped journaling after day 5 because, well, actually, hold up. That would be a spoiler alert because you'll hear that in the next episode. So make sure you tune into that one when that one comes around. But here we go. So, reading directly from my journal. Day 1, March 13th, 2011. So, I'm on the plane to Amsterdam. I'm in the aisle seat. Spencer's next to me, and Will is in the window seat. When we first got to the airport in Houston, we checked in, and then we all went to the line where they go through our carry-ons and stuff. And the dude didn't print my ticket. So me and Mr. Ryan had to go back and get it. It would not... Oh, hold on. My handwriting is shit, so you guys got to bear with me because this is also like 12 years ago handwriting, so it's even worse. It would not print for some reason, and I, of course, started to freak out. But we got it printed, and everything's okay. Now I just have to worry about my luggage making it there. Great. ... Well, we loaded the plane. Oh my God. We boarded the plane. Listen, little baby Bailey did not understand flights at this time. Fun fact, this was actually my 3rd time being on an airplane ever. So that's why I said we loaded the plane, not boarded. I had no idea. How cute. What a sweet little innocent Bailey. Okay, so we loaded the plane at 4:20. How ironic. We board for Amsterdam at 4:20. Weird. Oh my God. Look at this. Look at this. And then we took off at 5:15 p.m. We're supposed to arrive in Amsterdam at like 2:30 their time in the morning. I doubt I'll get any sleep on this plane, especially since somebody has their baby and he keeps crying. Lovely. Well, I'll write later. Okay, first of all, I do have to say that I remember that screaming baby and how annoying that was. Oh my God. There was a screaming baby on the flight home from India this last time, and geez, I'm so glad. You see these on my head right now if you're on YouTube? These are noise cancellation headphones. I highly recommend you get some that cover your whole ear if you're on an international flight, because I swear every single time I've gotten on an international flight, somebody's baby just wanted to scream the whole time and make it almost impossible for me to sleep. But these bad boys let me sleep. So I wish I'd had it back then, but you know what? It's all good. I do not remember feeling this worried about things, but guys, like, I'm going back and reading this and I'm like, wow, I was freaking out about the ticket not printing, which, okay, I can definitely see that happening. But I am just kind of stunned at my language here. I said, now I just have to worry about my luggage making it there. Great, ... Jeez, like, what a Debbie Downer. I will say, though, guys, this was during my depression years, and so I can't say I'm, like, super shocked to see myself being so, like, pessimistic, but I think I'm just sad because nowadays I am very optimistic. I have Monish to thank for a lot of that. He is the most optimistic person I've ever met, but I'm just here like, wow, like, that was very pessimistic, Bailey, for no reason. So, fun fact, the luggage made it there. Everything was fine. I freaked out for no reason. Story of my life. Okay, so now I'm writing about day 2, and I was so kind to put the time that I'm writing. So day 2, March 14th, 2011, it is 11:18 p.m. So we landed in Amsterdam and only had an hour to get through customs, so we ended up having to run to catch our flight. Ooh, let me stop and tell you all about that. Holy shit, that was wild. That was the craziest thing. I remember we were in customs forever, and the lines for all of that was crazy. Guys, this was spring break. There were a bunch of people traveling back then, and we had to run. We literally had to run through the Amsterdam Schiphol airport to go and catch our flight. And then we got there and they're trying to close the gate. They're trying to say nobody else can board. The rest of our class is still coming. They're still back there. A few of them couldn't run because they had asthma. And so we had to beg them, please keep the door open, keep the gate open, just a couple more minutes. The rest of our group is coming. Please, please, please. I think Mr. Ryan made us go ahead and get on the plane and board it. And then he kind of continued to, waste time by talking to them, looking, calling them over. And in the end, everybody got on the plane and we were able to get to Italy from Amsterdam on this little connecting flight, which I'd never done before. This was my first time going overseas. This was a 9-hour flight. This is the longest flight I'd been on at this point. And then I had a connecting flight. I did do that one time before, but not like this. It was 9 hours and then I think another 2 hours to Rome from there. So the flight to Rome was only 2 hours. Oh, wow. I should have just kept reading. I would have had the answer. And it was full of college kids. And I slept the whole time. Well, about the whole time. Jeez, guys, those college kids were rowdy. I remember that. They were spread out everywhere. They had all their gear on, and they were really annoying and really rowdy, and I don't miss them. So we waited at the airport until about 3:30 p.m. for the other group that was joining us to land. Once they arrived, we all got on the bus, and we headed to our hotel, which is small but very cute and nice. And then in parentheses, I wrote, free Wi-Fi, yay! So when I say other groups, there was 2 other groups that joined us, and the bus that we had was this EF Tours bus. So if you've ever been on a big charter bus, that's literally what we had, and we went everywhere on it. All of our luggage went underneath. We would keep our backpack in the chair with us, and we took this thing all over Italy. You'll hear about that shortly. We had 2 groups that joined us. We had the kids that were from Sherman, Texas, and there was like 5 of them who joined us. And then the kids from Georgia. Y'all, the Georgia kids were not nice. They were from a private school, and they were really not nice to us. And Spencer, you're probably sitting there laughing, remembering them, because they were assholes. They really were. One of them, I remember some stuck-up blonde girl said to us, like, oh, y'all are from Texas. Do you guys ride horses to school? I roll. If you're on YouTube, you saw that. But if you're not on YouTube, you didn't see my massive eye roll. It's so stereotypical. I hate when people say that shit, and I guarantee you I smarted off to them because I hate that. But we tried to avoid them. They sat at the front of the bus. The Texas kids, we kind of combined ourselves with the Sherman kids, and we all sat in the back, and it was literally a divided bus. And that's how it was. It was super weird, but whatever. Also, high school kids are assholes, so go figure. I'm rooming with Shelby and Brittany. So after we got to our hotel, we had about 2.5 hours to freshen up and do whatever we wanted. We finally went down to dinner and didn't get seated until almost 8:45 p.m. The food came in courses and it was great. The water, on the other hand, wasn't so great. It tasted nasty, but was said to taste that way because of the minerals. Well, I'm off to bed. Good night. Long day of walking ahead of me tomorrow. I do remember this restaurant. I don't remember waiting, to be honest. I don't remember that part, but I do remember being seated. And we were at this big round table, and there was our whole group from Houston, from Lake Jackson, all around the table. And I remember it feeling so fancy. Like, it was just so fancy in there. Like, there was paintings everywhere. There were like little china cabinets with glass things everywhere. They brought us courses of food, which was so fucking fabulous. I was 17 at the time, guys. 17 years old. I'd never really had, well, okay, once before this, we're not going to get into that now, but before this, only one time had like courses of meals served to me. And I'm 17 in Italy, like feeling fancy as fuck. The water, though, oh my God, it was awful. It was mineral water. You had to ask for flat water so that you could get non-mineral water. We learned that very quickly from our tour guide, Giuseppe. I will never forget his name. He was so kind, you guys. Giuseppe stayed with us the entire trip. He was our specified tour guide. He did not care that I asked a million questions. I ask a million questions on a regular basis. I was that annoying kid. I was that annoying kid who just asked all the fucking questions all the time. And I'm still that annoying kid. But Giuseppe did not mind. I would ask him all kinds of cultural questions because I wanted to know. And he never smarted off. He never rolled his eyes. He never got annoyed. He was always happy to answer the questions. And Giuseppe taught us that if we don't want to drink sparkling mineral water, we have to ask for flat water. And that goes for Italy. I don't know about the other countries. I'll tell you about France and Belgium and the Netherlands when I come back. But yeah, I remember this being such a great day. We put our stuff in the hotel. Oh my God, I think I didn't fry my straightener just yet. That's to come. But it was just great. It was like, wow, we're here. We made it. We're sitting at a round table full of people just enjoying food at a nice pace, enjoying company and fellowship, and just having a good time. This was great, guys. I miss that. I really do. Day 3, March 15th, 2011, and I'm writing this at 9:19 p.m. Today we went to the Victory Monument. Oh my God, that is exactly what is on this postcard here. The Trevi Fountain, a church near the Trevi Fountain, the awesome Pantheon, the Colosseum, and the Roman Forum, all of which were completely awesome. Guys, y'all gotta bear with me because this is 17-year-old Bailey's writing, so she wasn't a good writer yet. So it's gonna be a lot of awesomes and cools and greats and like not a lot of descriptive words. Don't worry, I'll give you some descriptiveness in between. The Trevi Fountain and the Colosseum were my favorite, though I didn't get the chance to throw a coin into the Trevi Fountain because it took so long exchanging money at the bank. Ooh, I do remember that. We didn't bring a lot of cash with us that we exchanged here in the U.S. Guys, again, this was 2011. I didn't have a credit card back then. I had a debit card that you could swipe for a Visa, but not everybody was taking that everywhere. It was just easier for cash. Y'all, this was pre-pandemic, super pre-pandemic. Nowadays, you can swipe a card basically anywhere. You can swipe a card at the taco truck. You can swipe a card with the people selling tamales. You can swipe a card basically anywhere. Back then, you couldn't. So we went to an Italian bank to exchange our money, which was actually really cool. It was a good experience because it's something that you just don't get to really do on a regular basis. You don't just get to walk into a foreign bank and exchange money. But it did take forever, and that sucked. So I didn't get to throw a coin in the Trevi Fountain, which is sad. But hey, maybe I'll go back to Italy one day and I'll get my chance. So Giuseppe, our tour guide, walked with us to the Victory Monument, the fountain, and the church near it, and the Pantheon. And after that, we were just sent off on our own to run around the city, find lunch, and even shop a little if we had time. There were a lot of guys who were trying to sell us junk, and they were everywhere. And on the streets, I got separated from Will and Spencer with these European guys in between us, and I freaked out. It was kind of scary. I tried gelato for the first time today, and it was so good. I had chocolate, of course. We did a ton of walking, so my feet are really sore. The drivers here are crazy, almost as bad as in the Dominican Republic, especially the motorcyclists. Well, ciao! Wowza. Oh my God. Again, 17-year-old Bailey. So I do remember that we got to roam around Rome. Literally. Like, they just sent us off. Little 17-year-olds just running around Rome by ourselves, which kind of sounds a little bit dangerous, especially because I got separated from Will and Spencer. Oh my God. Okay. That was scary, and it did piss me off because I didn't have any service whatsoever over there. I had my BlackBerry, and there was no service on that thing. My parents weren't going to try to figure that shit out for me. So I was relying on Spencer, and Will and I teamed up with Spencer, the three of us, because Spencer was the only person who had service in this foreign country out of the three of us. And Will and Spencer were good friends. And me and Spencer were good friends, so it just made sense that we were just a little trio over there. Holy shit. These guys ran off and just left me there. I had to go pee, and I came out, and they weren't there. And I was panicking. I was panicking. Y'all, we watched the movie Taken not long before we went on this trip. If you haven't seen Taken, it came out in like 2010 or 2011, and it's about girls who go over to Europe, and they get trafficked into prostitution. Yeah, we watched that, and now I'm roaming around Rome with these two idiots, and they just leave me behind. And of course I'm going to freak out. I remember being so mad when I finally caught up with them. I mean, nowadays it's not as big a deal because we'll have service. I'm an adult. It's different. I'm not scared of any of this. I've been way more scarier places than this. But back then, as a 17-year-old, it was pretty scary. But before we got to Rome, like little freedom kids, we went to the Colosseum, which was my absolute favorite, you guys. I just love architecture, and especially architecture like this, because this is a massive, massive monument that was built so long ago. It's just so fascinating and mesmerizing and just so surreal just standing there and being like, dude, this was built hundreds and hundreds of years ago without all the tools that we have today. Like, how the fuck did these people do this? Like, seriously, I really want to know. And I will just sit there and stare at it. Like, I just get captivated by this kind of thing. And also just the fact of, like, what happened in the Colosseum. All of the gladiator fighting and fighting with the animals and just all of the stuff for sport. It's just beyond me. I'm like, wow, these things occurred in history and I'm standing on it right now. So that was definitely my favorite monument of the entire trip. Loved it. I even brought back a little memento, which I guess I'll go ahead and show you. I actually bought this outside of the Trevi Fountain. I got my mom a little one at the Trevi Fountain, I remember, but I think I paid €1 for this, but it was totally worth it. It's one of my little trinkets from my international shelf up there. The Trevi Fountain was super crowded. I remember us having a hard time getting up to it, and then I didn't have any coins, which was super sad. So we had to literally rush into it, take photos, and then rush out and go to the next thing. The Pantheon was interesting. I really didn't know much about it whatsoever, and to be honest, I can't remember right now. So I'll definitely put some things in the travel notes when I get around to doing that. And also the Victory Monument. I do not remember that. I do remember taking a bunch of pictures in front of it. And it's here on the postcard. If you're looking at it on YouTube, it's here in the top, in the middle. I don't remember what that's for again. It might have something to do with World War II. I really don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll have to do some research later. Or you can just tell me. Whatever works best. I remember getting to roam around Rome, though, and just feeling free. We went into this cute little shop. We bought some souvenirs. I had so many friends and family members saying, hey, bring me back this, bring me back that. So I had a literal list. Actually, I still have the list in here of suggested souvenirs for people. And then, oh my God, and then I have what I actually got for them. That is too funny. So I remember doing that. I remember it started raining on us, which sucked. That was not fun. And trying gelato. Oh, I remember that. I remember that was earlier in the day. That was probably right after lunch. And we were in this little alleyway and there was a gelato stand, like a little stand. So we went and grabbed some gelato. And I have a selfie of me and Spencer with a gelato. That, again, will be in the travel notes. And you'll see it on the little slideshow here at the end of the show. But yeah, I just remember feeling so cool. It was like the Lizzie McGuire movie. Oh my God. This was like the Lizzie McGuire movie, except I didn't have some doppelganger who needed me to sing for them on stage, and Paolo never found me. Darn. If you don't know what the Lizzie McGuire movie is, man, I will put a link in this. Yeah, I'm going to have to put a link because I watched that movie on repeat until we went to Italy because it was just like, I was like, oh my God, this is me. I'm going to Italy. Where's my Paolo? I never found him. So sad. But yeah, so there you have it. That's days 1 through 3. Again, like I said, we'll finish the rest in the next episode. I want to be able to spread this out a little bit. Again, it's already over 30 minutes and I still have so much more to tell you. I really do. Also, in the next episode, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to show a few more of the souvenirs that I have. I don't have a ton more, but I do want to show you guys those. They're up on my international shelf over here. And some really, really interesting things happened on these last couple of days. Oh my God, I'm just looking at myself and I'm just shaking my head because I know what's coming and it's some crazy shit. So, I hope you enjoyed this Italian adventure and that I hope you enjoyed this Italian adventure and I hope that you are looking forward to the next round of it. But until next time, take it easy, stay grateful, and be joyful. Bye! Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Travel Tales. Head on over to whatishaybellsdoing.com/travel to find the resources mentioned in today's episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating on your favorite listening platform or write a review on Apple Podcasts. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on new episode releases. See you next time for another great adventure. Bye!